WSIE-FM with 50,000 watts effective radiated power now signs on the air. Licensed by the Federal Communications Commission in Washington to the Board of Trustees of Southern Illinois University, WSIE operates on a frequency of 88.7 megahertz. Located on the campus of Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, most of the programs aired during our broadcast day.
You just heard the original sign-on for WSIE 88.7 from 1970. This was a time for the radio station that was full of hopes and dreams for the future. In 2020, the future is just as unknown, but there are some milestones that need to be celebrated. I spoke with Jason Church, General Manager of WSIE, about why the station has something to celebrate this year.
WSIE actually just celebrated our 50th anniversary on September 4th, 2020. They originally went on the air September 4th, 1970, and originally WSIE was set up as an NPR-style news program. It wasn't until the early 1980s that they switched over to the all-jazz format. And for years, they had been playing mostly big band and trad or traditional jazz, old school John Coltrane, Miles Davis, things like that. And then in 2016, my predecessor, Steve Jankowski, had actually altered the format just a little bit because we were having an issue with listeners dropping off. The traditional jazz format in and of itself just wasn't nearly as popular as it used to be. So they had a few different options that they could look into. They were talking about potentially switching the format completely, maybe even getting rid of the radio station at that point in time. But luckily we had somebody in charge at that point in Steve that knew the value of holding on to a radio station here on campus, not only for the students' benefit, but also for the benefit of our jazz community at large around St. Louis.
The format of WSIE has changed over the years. Carlos Bedoya didn't know a lot about jazz going into his position at the station as chief engineer 3 years ago, but he did know the importance.
I know that jazz is an extremely important thing to lots of people here in the St. Louis area, metro area, and I know the station means a lot to many people here in town. And those people are wanting the station to be around for many, many more years to come.
With his desk piled high with music samples, Church is still doing what he can to promote and fundraise for WSIE in the middle of a pandemic. When asked if this is his dream job, the answer was quick.
Oh, yes. I have been a fan of this radio station since I was a kid. I've loved jazz music since I was young. When I was in high school, I would sit there and study and listen to this radio station constantly.
Over the past 50 years, names, faces, and even the format has changed at WSIE 88.7 The Sound. St. Louis is home for great jazz, smooth jazz, blues, and easy R&B. This station has meant so much to thousands of people in the area and around the world. We hope that WSIE is able to celebrate another 50 years. This has been Millie Pinsky reporting for MC 332.